A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, we were really digging not so much the pandemic, but the side effect of lots of action figures. However, too much of a good thing is kind of bitten us in the ass.
Yes, yes.
In this episode of A Toy Kind of Mood, it's your boy KJ and Bobby holding it down on the one and twos. KJ, what's up, buddy?
What's up, Bobby? It's always a good time hanging out with Toy Kind of Moon. Thank you very much for bringing this together. I definitely have some stuff to get off from my chest, and but it's been on my mind. It's gone from a fun house to a fun house mirror,
Yeah.
I guess. So it's like, yeah.
So let's break this down.
Mhm.
This actually, I feel I'm using like my NPR voice on this one because it's kind of like us actually breaking down the fact that okay, so here we go. In 2020, when the pandemic hit, we couldn't go anywhere, so we started just ordering stuff to keep us occupied.
Yeah.
Whether you were doing video games or like I was doing Legos, or us, we did action figures. However, because of the outcome of COVID and that we're still in this pandemic, and then between that and then now Ukraine, we've been seeing action figure prices going up, um, and it's kind of led to some of us either really, really being selective with our purchasing or dropping lines altogether.
Mhm.
So let's start with that right now. Dropping, just being selective and dropping lines. I know you've talked about, you joke repeatedly in the chats how you're retired, you're done, like
Yeah,
I'm wrecking.
yeah. Hashtag retired. Yes.
Right, but you pulled the Al Pacino a few times in Godfather 3, and they keep, but other times you're like, I'm done, I'm done.
Mhm, mhm.
So what are you dropping? Like, what are you like really, kind of like being selective with,
Yeah.
or done with in general?
Uh, well, it's funny because before we had the inflation with they were quoting the supply side issues, right?
Mhm.
About like getting everything up. So like fuel prices are already going up before this
Yeah.
tragic nightmare situation in Ukraine.
Yes.
So um, I had right before that started finally getting into Masterverse from Mattel. I was able to meet Kevin Smith. It was awesome. It was a
So
beautiful,
jealous.
lovely
Yeah.
moment. I don't be jealous, man, because you have a beautiful thing going on
And
over
I
in
met the
Texas.
man
So
too,
don't.
but still, it's cool.
But long story short, out of just because of that, I started getting like Revelation Masterverse figures and whatnot.
Yeah.
But then everything jumped sky high. There was a moment when all that Masterverse stuff was on sale, half off. It was crazy, right? On Target, at Walmart, and then, like now I had to pause everything. So that sadly was one of the first things to stop. And I love Masters of the Universe. I dug the Netflix show. I thought it was great. But then the Black Chrysanthemum figure kind of compounded things with the Rancor situation, with it being overpriced, with it being just a repaint of Chewbacca with this cheap, flimsy harness. And it's like, no, no, I'm just not gonna get it. It was a dope character from Book of Boba Fett,
Yes.
and now I'm not even gonna get it. I'm not even gonna get it to like customize it. It's just like they're either gonna re-release it,
Yep.
like they re-released a couple of the Star Wars Rebels figures or something like that,
Mhm.
or just not bother. And then, like I thought I was like, man, I can't wait to push the button on Black or Santan. But it starts a domino effect. If I don't get Black or Santan, then what else am I not going to get? And what else am I not going to bother with? Right? Like I started getting the Rogue One stuff. A lot of the Rogue One figures, Black Series came back in stock. Skip them. And I call it the Black Chrysanthemum effect. And then Marvel Legends is like for the longest time I couldn't find anything except Eternals figures on pegs. I got the Doctor Strange wave because I was going to build Rentrar,
Yeah.
in but then they had the controller wave, the 24.99. I was like, forget this. If this is what you guys are going to do, these used to be 19.99. It's the same form factor basically. Like the oil didn't go up that much,
Yeah.
so I ended up skipping that wave. And sure enough, Amazon started taking it back down to 22.99 or Walmart, that kind of stuff. It's like, all right, maybe not 24.99. Well, here's a $2 off, and I was like, nah, I'll holler at y'all when it's
Yeah.
19.99. I'll holler at y'all when it's 17.99.
Yeah.
When the holidays come around. So it's like one thing leads to another.
Yeah, it's true. I'm actually wearing, I look, dude, I love pops. I mean, I've got a nice collection. I've got like a two like I actually have the Funko app. I have it all in there. I've got my prices. Yeah, yeah, that's badass. I like that. I pick up Eddie Van Halen, and a buddy of mine got me Bevo, my alma mater's mascot. Um, I've had to really cut back on that. Um, Matt, my origins. Look, I'm all in. That's the one
Yeah.
I'm all in. Right? Like I'm
Mhm.
like this week on Target, 20% off. I'm gonna get Strider. I'll be caught up, kind of.
Yeah,
But yeah,
Clawful, Anti-Eternia. Yeah, we're gonna get all those. Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, Marvel Legends. I've cut back on. And there's a few where I'm like, ooh. And it's always like, and I have my mom's voice in my head from when I was a kid, like, "Ooh, I need this. Like, do you need it or do you want it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, do you need this?" Like, I pre-ordered the Doctor Strange Astral Form when it came out. Like, "Ooh,
Mhm.
this looks cool."
Yeah.
You get it in hand, I'm like, "All right, it's cool at
Yeah.
angles, but straight on, it's kind of a hot mess. Like the faces, the
It's
body."
it's a yeah. Yeah, it's basically if you want to use it for props, if
Yeah,
you want to like, have them like wondering like I gotta get back to my body. I was stirring up something at the kitchen and now I'm in my astral form. I
exactly.
don't know.
Like, okay, and this is where we discussed, and I'm actually going to use this. I got this, and it's really cool. I got the Visla.
And it's the carbonized, right?
It's carbonized, yeah, I mean, I already have him. Actually, Dave found him for me like a few years ago.
Yeah,
Um,
shout out to the homie Dave.
yeah, but the carbonized, and I'm like, this is too badass to pass. It really was like, and that's where like and that's what I'm kind of at now. Was like, oh, do I need this? No. Do I? Can I A, afford it, and B, is it? Do I want it? Yes. And I think that's kind of where we're at now. Like, oh, we don't, granted, we never had like the stimulus checks like other first world countries did, but I was like, all right, right. But now you get the 25, the 30, the $40, it's like, oh,
Hmm.
I can't,
Hmm.
I can't do that anymore.
I've been closing up collections. I've been plugging holes.
Yeah.
So if for example, I was collecting the GI Joe Funko Pops,
Hmm.
and I have my eyes on like a Destro Pop, and I refuse to spend more than 30 for it. Like if I was collecting it live, it would have been $10. It would have been
Yeah.
$8, right?
Yeah.
I was going to get the all white Storm Shadow. I was going to get the Chase version of Zartan.
Yeah.
And that'll be it, right? There's still not counting Leatherneck, not counting Shipwreck. Like there's so many Joe Pops. There'll be even more Joe Pops. But I'm either going to to spend extra on 3 and not bother with any anymore,
Okay.
or I'm gonna just skip those and then what? I'm gonna get what 5 or 6 or 7 other pops as consolation prizes and just keep this going. Like, no, I had to like draw a line in the sand and be like, what do I want? Is
Yeah.
it worth getting what I want? Do I want anything else after this?
And that's where like, right now, like I like GI Joe is one of those lines where I've gone like half in, but I'm not going all in. And that's kind of like where I'm at with Star Wars. Like right now, it's like, all right, like with GI Joe, it's mainly the heroes, right? But other than that, I'm like, I don't have it. Like I pre-ordered like Stalkers and Zartan and Tomox.
Hmm.
Oh,
Crimson Twins.
yeah, the Crimson Twins. So yeah, the Crimson Twins and Stalker. Um, will I keep those? I don't know. I'll keep Stalker because I get the good guys. I do. I get the good guys. So I'll get Stalker. But will I keep the Crimson Twins? Maybe.
Hmm.
Let's see where I'm at. Right. The pop situation, like my comic book shop had Van Halen.
Hmm.
They've gone up $3-4.
Hmm.
Right. And now I have got very personal ties to Eddie Van Halen, to Van Halen, to like the music, stuff like that. So yeah, I'm like, that was a no-brainer. But all the other ones I've seen like, oh, I want that, oh, I want that, oh, I want that. Don't have room, don't have the money,
Yeah.
just yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And another thing I'm kind of slowly backing down to is Transformers. Uh,
Beautiful.
they're, they're amazing. I can't find Blaster right now,
Yeah.
but other than Dinobots and Sludge, done.
See, I didn't order Sludge. I didn't order Junk Heap. I'm not I'm not really ordering anymore because I'm at capacity in my room. It's sort of like that scene in Harry Potter when they're in the vault and you don't drop anything or else it'll just expand and multiply. That's my room right now.
Yeah,
So it's a war. It's like as much as it'd be kind of cool to keep this in box and like keep this like lined up with all the other Revelation figs, I'm basically just gonna open this up. Oh, by the way, you can check me out on Instagram.com/Black Genghis. Well, I will be
yes,
doing I love your TikTok unboxing. So I've sort of been doing Instagram unboxings. So the
nice,
next one's going to be the multiverse of madness. And then sooner or later I'll do a Revelation unboxing as well over the
nice.
weekend. So
Yeah. So I do have like my shelf right there, and I've got Fisto and Stinker over there. Um,
mhm.
I actually, and I showed our buddy K Wish this. Someone did a really cool job, and I like this one. I'm gonna start doing with my figures I've opened.
Mhm.
But I love the artwork. Someone took them and like, exacto knifed the artwork out, and then framed those as like giant like.
Okay, yeah.
I'm like, okay, I dig that. I dig that. Now, so the price has gone up. We're having to shift, cut down. Here's the other thing that we've been really we have to be cautious about and angry about. Um, the release dates.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, and this is where I've missed out on X Force, I've missed out on Excalibur, I've missed out on my Vipers. Is that when they say, "Hey, this is the date that is going to come out."
Mhm.
Cool, great. April, March next year. Okay, great. But until that time, I'm not ready for that. I'm planning for that time. If you move up that time schedule, that time frame, I've got to cancel. Like, have you had to do that?
Yeah. So last June, I was fortunate enough to go to Avengers Campus. In fact, we went opening day. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Had a great time. It was my first time like out in the sunshine, fresh air, not being afraid to be around people. You
Right.
know, I had gotten the vaccine and I felt free. I felt like you know, I had escaped something and it was wonderful. And
Right.
then days later, just a successive wave of pre-orders came in, and I was canceling stuff left and right. I was canceling NECA figs. I had to cancel
Mhm.
Storm Collectibles. I had to cancel a lot of high-end import stuff, and also a ton of Hasbro stuff. A ton of Hasbro stuff coming through from Target, from Walmart. It all hit at once, and I was like, nah. So for the longest time, the last thing I had bought was Modoc, basically. Like I had bought a Modoc figure and I couldn't even get because I had went to Disneyland Avengers Campus. Like I didn't even have money to like get Scientist Supreme to go with Modoc or to
Right.
get Red Skull or any of that stuff. So I had to like cancel like thousands of dollars worth of stuff because
Yeah.
it all came due. And it's like, man, you said that this was coming later and it didn't. So and there's a lot that I still haven't gone back and gotten again.
Yeah. That happened with me with Excalibur, X Force. Like they were supposed to come out later this month, and Hasbro was like, "Hey, good news." I'm like, "No, no, 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 it's not good news. It's not good news. Not for
Right.
me." Right. So I've had to cancel a lot of like my Hasbro Pulse is like cancel, cancel, cancel.
Yep.
And am I annoyed with it? 100%, sure.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's one of those things where like, you know what? Silver lining, like I didn't have that 70, so that 70 went to something else. So it's silver
Yeah.
lining, but still, it is annoying. Like, ooh, okay, I can plan for this. Ooh, that's okay. But on the same note, it's also very annoying when you plan for something. Case in point, Super 7, which yes, it's a running joke that they never come out on time.
Mhm.
So my Raphael and my Leonardo have both been postponed now, I think 5 different times now, just because, yeah, supposed to come out September, then November, then December, then January, then February. Now it's saying March. I call bullshit. But
Mhm.
that's that uncertainty. Like you have money ready for it, and like, oh, it's been postponed. All right, well then that money's gonna obviously you should get shuffled into bills. Let's just be real. It goes to bills.
Mhm.
But that doesn't fill me with confidence of like, okay, if I pre-order this, if I put money towards it, what is the incentive for me to stick with it?
I think it's you for me. I answered my own question. I don't
Yeah,
have incentive to stick with it. So the Excalibur multi-pack, I wanted that Captain Britain to go with my Captain Carter, with my Union Jack. I was going to have like some British hero squad. So I'm like, okay, let's go ahead and reorder. It's back in stock, but it's up $3. It was 62.99, now it's 65.99. So I skipped it because it's like that's $3 out of my pocket. That's like a box of hot pockets,
it's
man.
it is a
Like
week's worth of
we're getting real
coffee.
here. Like I'm
Well,
not
no,
choosing. Yeah.
and you're 100% true. You're 100% right. Like, let's let's keep it 100 here. Is that fact that, yeah, $3, while it might not seem like a lot, it does. It's a thing of for me. Like my coffee's $3. Like just I get like
Mhm.
the cheap bulk K-pops. That's my week's worth of coffee if I don't go to Starbucks. Like that $3 does add up. And when we're talking about how the fact that, yeah, Marvel Legends has been going up, and you can call, say like supply side or the price of oil, which, I mean,
Yeah.
come on, there were like tons of leases that haven't been touched. That $5 per figure, while it might not seem like a lot, when you're doing a whole wave of build a figures,
Yes.
you are literally adding on a figure that you won't buy.
So six figures, right? $20, 120 for a wave. That's
Yep.
fine, man. Like I would get like a cool BAF, that kind of thing. But all of a sudden, yeah, you said it yourself, 24.99,
Hmm.
six figures. That's 150. So
Yep.
that's like a deluxe figure you're not getting,
Yep.
right? So if it's not for coupons or sales, I'm not getting this stuff. I'm not troop building anymore. I can't just grab stuff just because I'm curious about a figure. Like it's one thing if it was like the hood for $15. I'm not gonna buy a gag figure for $25.
Exactly. And on
Mhm.
top of that, and I've mentioned this before in my as you so eloquently mentioned my TikTok, I'm kind of tired of the non build a figure.
What
Like
do you mean?
what I mean is, like, when you have a build a figure wave and you have like that one or two figure that doesn't come with any pieces, but they still charge you the same as the build a figure.
Ooh,
Like
ooh, yeah.
I can kind of swallow that bitter pill of, a $3 increase for another piece. Like, okay, granted, I will never build strong guy, but however, is this $3 worth of plastic? I Sure, why not? But you give me like the Wolverine or like without any figure, and you're still charging me that same price? Like,
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
Like I'm gonna be like, will I still get that Wolverine and the Bone Breaker? Sure, because I like Wolverine. I've got a ton of him, and I'm not putting together Bone Breaker. Will I be salty AF about it? Yeah. Yeah, I will. Right? It's the same thing with Marvel Legends. It's the same thing with McFarlane. Like, bro, I had all the Batman, like the Batman figures, right? And that new Batman looks fantastic. I'm not. No, I'm like I've pre-ordered Martian Manhunter. I pre-ordered Aquaman. I want my Justice League, but I'm done.
Same here.
I'm done. Like I don't
Mhm.
like I didn't get my Batman Beyond. Can't find him. Like it's an extra. I'm annoyed that the sculpting I think in some figures has gone to hell. Um, and then I'm not. I can't applaud a company that when I get a Marvel Legend, and granted, like take for instance Ajax from Eternals. Uh, Trav found her for me. Never saw her in Houston. It was really weird. Found her for me, picked her up. I'm like, cool, thanks, bro. She came with alternate heads, alternate hands. Cool, that was great. Everything all it all came in one, and it was still a $20 version. So cool. McFarlane was like, all right, hey, here's a new, repackaged Batman. Like, what's different? We get the unmasked version. Like, just give me the masked and unmasked in one box.
Yeah.
And granted, McFarlane knows what they're doing and they know people are going to buy it. But still, dude, if you go to your Walmart or Target, how many McFarlane figures are just sitting there?
Right, right. And they never go really past 25% off because they're already so cheap.
Yeah.
Right. There always is that little trinket for people like, oh yeah, I know who Batman is, and they just grab it off the shelves. But yeah, I just if you give me a second, I just want to talk about perceived value, right?
By all means.
So we're talking about McFarlane Batman, for example, where it'll be like we won't get extra hands, so you'll have like one fist and one open hand, and that's it. or we don't get guns because WB has a no guns policy, or we don't get this or that.
Right.
The man bat, great sculpt in the face, but I ended up not getting it because one, no extra hands, so you can't do like the open hand, like brah, like you can't do that, right?
Right.
And they're fused fists, so the wrists don't even move, like they don't move, so
What?
you can't. Yeah, there's if you look very closely, they don't have articulation at the wrists. They're just fists, and it's just the arms with the wings attached to the forearms that are articulated
Just
because
flailing about.
they're articulated statuettes, and
Yeah.
they're barely articulated. They're just the value comes from instead of just buying one static piece. If you want to do 2.5 poses with it, you can. Hazmat suit. I almost got that sucker so many times.
The only reason I got this is because I found the gold version. That's it. Other than that, 100%. I can't do anything with this. It's a beautiful, beautiful 20 something dollar statue.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I mean, granted,
Yeah,
I can stand it.
yeah, yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
That's it.
And I used to think those action figure stands were a great value because each McFarlane figure comes with an action figure stand. But the only reason it does is because you can't stand those things without the stand. They won't stand without those. So as far as the other end of the spectrum, um, the classic comics, Doctor Strange from Marvel Legends, right? So this thing was, I want to say, $26.49 at Walmart, right?
Okay.
Not exactly cheap, but you get extra heads. You get a meditating head. You get like the Blue Man Group head.
Yep.
You get weapons, and it's highly posable. You can even put it in a yoga pose if you want.
Yes.
Plenty of people put them like in a Shambhala yoga pose. Great cape, that kind of thing. Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
So super posable. I think you did like a fastball special once, didn't you?
I
Like,
did. I had Wolverine all crouched, and I had Colossus like throwing him.
Mhm.
And once again, you hit a nerve there. It's great. Like my John Stewart, love him. Can't stand to save his life. The stand needs to be with him so that he can stand. Consider that Superman. The cape is flowing beautifully, but if you don't have that stand, he's not standing.
Mhm.
But Marvel Legends, yeah, yeah. If you want to do like recreate a really cool scene, like you can do it. I've got Age of Apocalypse Shadowcat like resting on a Colossus while he's running. Like that's cool.
That is cool.
That is really cool. And you know what I mean? God help me. I got because and we're doing a lot of shout outs. Shout out to Marco Vlad. He found this for
Oh
me.
yeah.
That dude is a he's like you. He's a sales hunter. Like y'all find those sales, and he was like, dude, here, found me Legion for $10, and that's as
Oh
much
yeah.
much as I wanted to pay for Legion. I was not gonna, yeah,
Yeah.
I was not
Yeah.
gonna pay much for this guy. Granted, he got the the fade top, high top
Mhm.
fade, but I'm like, okay, you know what? I grabbed him, and I remember the pose from like the X-Men cover. I'm like, all right, I'll do this. Put the comic behind him. This is cool, but this is not a $25 figure. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even
Right.
with his other hands, no, no. Um, you make a great point, the fact that yes, while like that Strange is $26, you get so much with him.
Hmm. Hmm.
So moving forward, because I granted I've got all the VHS X-Men on pre-order, and my wife walked in here and she just like gave me a hug, and she goes, you have too many toys. I'm like, shh. She goes, no. She goes, honey, you have too many. Like, I'm like, no. She goes, no. I go, no, I don't. She goes, how many do you have in like the closet? I'm like, shh. How many do you have in storage? Shh, stop. Right? Like, moving forward though, like, where do you see action figures going? Because it's always up and down, up and down. Like, is
I
it doing
think
a good thing?
I think material costs are going to be an issue. So if Hasbro is going to stick at a $24.99, then you can't have anything as a basic figure anymore. Like unless you have the troop builders like the Hydra Trooper or the AIM Trooper or something like that, or even the Shield Agent 2-pack.
Yeah.
you would need something where if I buy a Marvel Legends, if there's no Build-A-Figure wave, then it needs guns, it needs like harnesses, it needs props, from the show or from the comic book.
Right.
Like Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man has his negative zone pizza. Or with Hammerhead, I think it came with a different head sculpt. I could be wrong. But the point is, you're going to have to include something extra.
Right. So
Yeah,
like
there you go.
so for this, for you get three pairs of hands.
Yes.
Like and I love this
The
packaging.
card backs.
The
Yeah.
cutbacks, like, okay, fine. I'll but yeah, like regular freaking, like, I will say they do right with their Iron Man figures. You get the head, you
Okay.
get the helmet, you get the blasters,
Blast effects. Yeah.
the blast effects, But maybe start pulling them McFarlane and putting stands in there. Because you know, you like stands, like I don't want to have to buy extra stands, especially if they fall apart.
I would pay money for a Hasbro old school stand.
Yeah,
Like either like, yeah, it can be like Marvel or it could be like or GI Joe. GI Joes actually used to come with stands. Those 25th anniversaries or something like that. It would be
that's right.
awesome to get classified series with their stands. But if you know where to look, you can get some stands from
You
different
can,
places.
and then you can get stands like they have like the NECA stand. They have like NECA and a Target. They
Mhm.
You can buy the stands, but those are so expensive too. Like
Yeah.
I'm sorry, like I'm saying, like if I'm gonna get an Iron Man, let's just go back to the Iron Man. If you give me an Iron Man with his blasters and everything, put a stand in there. Like one where we can like you can like kind of like you can clip, because the Superman I have came with a stand. The price did not change between him and the Batman with no stand.
Mhm. Mhm.
You can put that little extra, like just like that little clear piece of plastic in there, and let my guys fly.
Mhm. Mhm. The Black
But
Widow from the movie came with a flight stand, right? The
yes,
deluxe came with a
the
flight
deluxe
stand.
with the flight stand, and that's the deluxe figure, and that's cool.
Yeah.
Uh, but still, okay. So moving forward, um, do you see them? Do you see a point where they either drop the price and maybe deliver? I'm not gonna say bad quality or poor quality, but not the detail that we get now.
I see one of two things happening.
Okay,
One, they go back to 22.99 or they go back to 19.99 and it's just bare bones. Like you get nothing. They are going to just expect their fan base to already have accessories, guns, effects, that kind of stuff, the Dazzler effects. They're just
right.
not going to give you that stuff anymore. Or they jack up the price, but they put stuff in.
Okay.
They put in those extra goodies. If they don't do either of those things,
Hmm.
and we see increased costs and we're spending more for less,
Yeah.
you're going to have less and less people buying Hasbro figures. You're going to have less people buying GI Joe, buying Power Rangers Lightning Collection,
Yep.
um, the Marvel Legends Black Series, Transformers. Like we stopped collecting Transformers, basically, right?
In essence, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
After Perceptor, like I said, like the Dinobots and Blaster, that's all. I'm done. Like I'm
mhm.
in essence done. Black Series, like bits and pieces here. Like I am still waiting for my Cobb Vanth and Cad Bane, and that done. Like I'm like ending, like now we've been talking a lot about Hasbro, but you got to give it up to Mattel for keeping their pricing the same for across the board. Like you really have to applaud them for that. Like, good job, Mattel, and the fact that they're $15. I can drop 15. I can drop that.
yeah, yeah,
You know,
definitely.
I can drop that. All right. So anything else you want to get off your chest while you're here, KJ?
Yeah, I think people had to be more responsible with their spending, with their collection. I have three different lists. I have the stuff I got list, the
Okay.
stuff that is coming list, and
Okay.
my wish list. Are they going to make it? Maybe they will, maybe they won't, but I still want it. If they come out with like a line of Willow action figures, like that's going to be like something I'm just going to have out there into the ether. Indiana Jones action figures. I'm
Oh,
just going to
dude.
put that out there in the ether. But, but with everything I'm collecting now, I
Yeah.
put in a hard line of, okay, here's what I want. Like I want Ewoks for Return to Jedi 30th anniversary.
Okay.
I want, um, I want this figure for Transformers. I want these for Ninja Turtles. Like basically, I want the Secret of the Ooze 4-pack set. And if I can get Kino, great. If they make it hard to get, that's on them. They shouldn't have, because I would have been able to got that. I'm not. I'm tired of racing. I'm tired of the hunting. So just make a list of what you want and include an estimate of how much that is.
Yeah.
And maybe you might have to start making some Sophie's choices. When I already lined up everything on my pre-orders, I was like, okay, I don't really need that. I don't really need this. I don't really need that. So it's like, if it comes down to it, that's the stuff that's going first, because that's the stuff I want the least. So it doesn't make sense to, put myself through anything resembling any kind of hardship just because I'm a
Right.
collector. I don't have to be a comprehensive collector. The world's opening back up. So it's as much fun as it was doing this. If I want room for some collecting, I can
Right.
do that. You know,
Fair.
that's
Yeah. No, I'm kind of the same. Like He-Man will always have my heart, so I'm up until they end that. I'm good. But He-Man might end. I'd say 2 years from now. Okay, that's fine. I can do that. I can hold off. Marvel, Star Wars. I will always keep going. And there might be ebbs and flows in my collecting. Let's just be real here. There might be times like, what, I'm done for right now. For right now. But
yeah,
is that gonna happen? No, I've got like the VHS '90s X-Men. All four of them pre-ordered coming
yeah.
in June. So like, all right, that's $100. All right, cool. I can do that. All right, KJ, as always, buddy. It was always fun getting to chat and do a little seriousness here on the show.
Yeah.
Whereas, we're usually just like, lamenting stuff that we love. It's good to actually like, hey, no, there are issues with this collecting. As always, you can be found on IG at Black Genghis, where you are doing your unboxing. And I know that you are working on. Aren't you still working on a few? Not kit, but kit customs.
Yeah, yeah. I got some customs planned. I got something planned for the bats. I got something planned for the alley vipers. It's gonna
Excellent.
be fun, and I'm gonna be putting that up on YouTube. So you keep your eyes tuned.
And then you can find me on TikTok at a Toy Kind of Mood for the unboxings. And I'm planning something, and I was talking to you about this, KJ. I'm gonna try. Let's see if I can do this. Very large epoxy build. And when I say a large, I mean like a foot by foot of it's gonna be a battle of attorney in proportions. So let's see if I can do that without making either a complete mess or going brain dead. Brain dead. Let's see. As
Yeah.
always, I am Bobby. He is KJ. We will see you in the toy aisle, and always be nice to one another. Peace.